Zelda Me is saying in her question today, does the president have the right to shut down Twitter? Doesn't that go against our First Amendment rights? Does that border on communism?
Oh, it doesn't border on it. It goes right to the heart of it. Government has no right to censor Twitter or to shut down Facebook or anything else. Now, what the government has a right to do is to say, okay, if you're going to be selective, say this to Twitter and to Facebook, and if you guys are going to say, well, Pam Case can say what she wants to say, but Mike Huckabee can't, okay, then you're no longer protected under Rule 232 at the Federal Communications Commission, which basically says that these platforms can't be sued and they're not accountable. Well, they should be if they're making decisions about which content is acceptable and which isn't. Let me give you the analogy for this so you understand. The telephone company, great example. The telephone company provides telephone lines. You talk into one end, somebody else talks in the other end. Telephone company does not monitor what you say. And if they did and they didn't like what you said, they can't say, I'm sorry, we're going to cut your phone service off because you were talking about the Dallas Cowboys, and all of us in the telephone office are Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and we refuse to let Cowboys fans talk on our instruments. What would happen? They get sued,
right? Rightfully
so. So what's happened, social media is still a new phenomenon. We're still trying to figure out how this all works. But the social media companies have basically been exempted from being held accountable for their deciding Cowboys fans, they don't get to say anything, Steelers fans do. That's what has to change. But as to whether Joe Biden or the government can come in and tell these social media companies that they cannot function at all, well, that is absolute, just totalitarian, call it fascism, Marxism, communism, but it's an ism that is not freedom, that's for sure.
We have some Canadian dollars coming in our super chat this afternoon, Governor, from Joe Pepito, and he is simply asking this question: when is Hunter going to jail?
Well, Joe, that's a great question, and I appreciate that it's coming from those of you in Canada. Maybe you're getting better information about this whole story than a lot of Americans who have been shielded from it because the social media giants and the mainstream media legacy companies like the New York Times, the Washington Post, have covered this story up. Recently, the New York Times acknowledged that the laptop was legit, that it really was Hunter's laptop. Now, once you're there and you agree to that, you're going to have to at some point know what's on that laptop. And as that comes out, how are you going to deny that Joe Biden was the big guy, that he was getting at least a 10% cut of these deals that Hunter was doing? My perspective is this. Look, Hunter was a drug addict. I don't know if he still is, hopefully not. Sleazy guy, sleazy business, sleazy personal life, just horrible. But the real issue isn't Hunter. The issue is that Joe Biden said he had no knowledge of any of Hunter's business, when in fact the record shows something quite different. Not only did he know, but he actively participated and personally and lucratively benefited from it. So the question is not Hunter. The question is the elected Joe Biden, who is vice president and then is president. What did he know? When did he know it? And how much money did he make because his son was doing business deals with the Communist Chinese Party? How compromised is the president under those circumstances? That is very, very legitimate. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I hope you will now. The button is just below this video, and there's a little bell next to it. If you click on those, YouTube will reluctantly start letting you know when we've got a new video uploaded.